episode 12 of the Metal Antics podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host Isaiah.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello.
And we are joined today by a couple members of Generation Underground. If you guys would like to state your names and what you contribute to the band.
We have another Michael in the room. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Matt, and I'm the drummer.
All right. Matt and Mike. Let's start off with Michael's question right away.
Okay.
Let's just jump right into it.
Right, yeah,
just
sure.
A cold
All right,
open.
so I was on your Instagram and I was reading that I saw a post. I scrolled down because why is the song called Meth Man? I have to know. So I scrolled down. I was reading it, and you want to tell the story about that, or?
So we did a show. This was 2017 at this place called the Boneyard in Atlantic City. It was like a last minute thing, and we walk in there. It's me and him and our ex bass player Vaughn, and we're just like, all right. And it's like really hole in the wall, like championship bar style, but even worse than that. And we're just like, okay. And they're like, do you guys want to play indoors or outdoors? I'm like, well, we don't really get to play outdoors, so let's play outdoors. And we're waiting. And I'm like, okay, when are we going to go on? And it's like 2 o'clock. Like, you guys will be on an hour. Okay. 5 o'clock. We're outside. His dad gets a fucking beer. And we're just sitting down. We're just like, all right, so we going to go on or not? And like, then the guy goes, all right, you're coming on. That's the sound guy. I go, that's the sound guy? This dude comes in shirtless, in shorts, and just, he looks like a meth head. We're like, okay, I mean,
foreshadowing.
I guess. I was like, all right. And so we set up all of our stuff, and then we're about to start sound checking, and he disappears. We're like, where the fuck did this guy go? The guy went to go get high on meth during sound check. And then he came back, and he's setting up his drum mic, and the dude looked like he came out of the Atlantic Ocean. He's just dripping. I'm like, and it was hot, but it wasn't that hot.
Like literally dripping sweat on my drum heads. I was like windshield wiping that shit off.
It was so bad.
It was terrible.
And then after that, his fucking girlfriend or fiance or wife comes in, and she's got one flip-flop on. She's dragging her feet. I'm like, oh my God, like, we have discovered the meth family.
Funny story. We went to Atlantic City. Maybe, I don't know how long ago this was.
August?
Oh, yeah. Why'd you say it like that?
Because that's kind of recent.
But yeah. We went to Atlantic City, and Atlantic City is not what I remember it used to be.
No,
it is
it's not at all.
No.
It turned at night. It turns really dark, and there's a bunch of mist, and then there's just a bunch of crackheads everywhere. And I don't know what happened.
I remember being on vacation in Brigantine, which is like that island town, the next one over. I was there with 2 of my cousins and one of my friend, and we were driving around, and I made one wrong turn. And we ended up in the middle of the hood. They're like, turn around. I'm like, I can't fucking turn around. It's a one-way road. I'm like, we're in the middle of the hood now. Yeah, AC is like
we're
good.
in now, man.
AC is good for like an L, like literally the boardwalk in like one street, and then the rest of it is just straight fucking crackhead.
Yeah,
it's kind of sketchy.
It's like the Dingleberry of New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get offended from that. Be like, no, it's not.
It's okay. We played there with the Meth doing Sound Man, who we eventually did play the show. It did actually happen after 4 hours late.
Yeah, and it was a good show.
It was a good show, but we missed Little Pump that night. We were supposed to go see Little Pump play, so we couldn't go. I did see him a couple of years later. He was terrible. Terrible.
He saved you. Meth Man was the savior.
He did. So after the show, we posted about her. Yeah, our sound guy was on meth. A few weeks later on Facebook, I got a message. I'm like, who's this lady? And it was the meth guy's wife. Messaged me and goes, the sound guy was not on meth. He just has low blood sugar and he has diabetes. I go, no. Listen, nobody looks like that and is fucking diabetic. Nobody. It's impossible. I have a picture I'll show you guys after the podcast. Okay. The guy was out of his fucking mind. And then the venue closed a month later.
Yeah.
But I think all that matters is, did it sound good?
I was about to ask that.
It was decent.
From what I remember, yeah. I think
it was decent.
Right.
It was only the 3 of us. I had to do all the guitar. Me and the bass player switched off on all the guitar and bass duties because we didn't have another guitar player.
Did he still get the job done, the sound guy? Kinda.
So. Yeah.
I mean, the microphones did work.
That's true.
Not really.
On a scale from
thing.
Flintstone gummies to black tar heroin, how good did it sound?
How do you scale that?
Yeah, that's a really interesting
It's like black tar heroin is the worst. It's the absolute terrible.
Yeah.
Flintstone gummy it was amazing. It sounded great.
Not black tar heroin, but in that kind of ballpark. But it wasn't that bad, but it was all the bullshit that led up to. We were just, by that point, we were like,
just regular.
Just go home. I don't fucking care.
So maybe like whippets.
In that kind of realm with it. So yeah, we've had so many just interesting stories, and just at this point I've heard every excuse why people have not showed up. And today that our bass player John's not here with the food poisoning, that's a first. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We've heard stories about people not showing up because of people getting into car accidents, being in college presentations, falling off a skateboard.
Training for their shop right.
Yeah, oh my God. This was another story. So about 3 years ago, within a couple of weeks from now, we did a show, me and him and our bass player, and we had a guitar player that was in and out of the band. He wasn't really he was very good, but he wasn't all there in the head all the time, so he could never commit. So that was always the fucking problem. And we did the show. I come back from vacation, and we have a practice with him. First time in like 6 months. We're like, this is fucking amazing. We're going to destroy dingbats tomorrow night. Yeah. The next day comes around. He's not answering the phone. I'm like, this is deja vu all over again. Yeah. Not answering the phone, not texting back, this and that. We go to fucking dingbats, and his excuse for not coming was because he had ShopRite training. Not that night, the next morning.
You gotta prepare for that shit. I worked at ShopRite, man, twice. It's rough, man. You gotta really get ready for it. You gotta take, some like supplements to get fucking ready. You gotta like dry scoop some pre-workout.
But like we were going on at 8. I feel like we would have been done by 9.
Yeah, he could have been home at a reasonable hour, but he didn't want to show up. So not only did I bash him up there, the crowd bashed him too, and it was really bad. Yeah, the whole crowd was just screaming "fuck him" the entire night.
What was the reaction after, like from him? Did you give him shit for it?
I didn't talk to him for like 5 months after that.
Oh, shit.
And I ran into him at Rob Zombie like 4 months later because we were sitting in PNC. And I turned around, I'm like, oh, fuck, why is he sitting behind me? So we ended up talking. I was like, let's just put that behind us and let's just move forward as friends. And then we've been on and off. It's ridiculous.
The worst part is when you're at a concert and like you're just getting set up, like the first band's about to come on. You sit down, you look around, you just see like observe, and then you see someone you don't fucking like 3 rows in front of you. Or it's worse when they're behind you because then they know you're there.
Because they see you.
And they'll just look at you the entire time. It's happened. It's the most awkward thing ever. Because you can't do anything. That's your seat.
You guys just like constantly keep turning your heads and see each other.
Yeah, making eye contact. I was like, oh shit.
The stories, or not even the stories, the things that go on when I work security at Starland is insane. I mean, people literally try to fight us over a drumstick. And I'm like, you can buy it on fucking eBay. It's not that do or die. But they are insane. I did Pauly D one night there. Let's just call it.
Hair gel?
That and single mom night of the year. Like all the moms get together. It's like we haven't been out in 5 years. Girls' night out. They went out of their mind. It was 500 people. That's it. That's
what does Pauly D do?
Just a DJ set.
Yeah.
Oh.
And these women were just so trash. They called one of my coworkers like the nicest person ever. They called her a cunt, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? This lady got so drunk they threw her out. She called the cops on Starland, and the cops showed up and go, what is wrong with you? And then they tried driving away drunk. And then another lady, as the show was ending, we're like the front door was starting, and she stumbles, she smacks her fucking face into the glass door, and I'm talking with my supervisor, and she falls down like the 2 little steps they have like on the one side of like going up into the door at Starland.
Oh yeah.
She just misses them both, and she's laying on the floor, and I go, Wheeler, what do I do? He goes, not our problem, turn around.
We're security, not paramedics.
Yeah, he goes, they're off. He goes, they're not inside. It's not our problem anymore.
Damn.
All right, so actually, I have a few questions now because I know that you work at Starland. That's my favorite venue in New Jersey. I think it's the best.
It is
by far.
And I'm not saying that because I worked. I really enjoy going there.
Wouldn't know. Never been. Wouldn't know.
You've never been to Starland?
Never been there.
You're what?
It's literally 5 minutes from my house. I pass it all the time. Yeah. It's kind of sad to pass
venue.
it.
Yeah.
Me and Isaiah have been there plenty of times together. We saw August Burns Red there a bunch of times.
Last time I was there was Suicide Boys, though.
Oh my god! I requested not to work that
Why?
show because I wanted to mosh. That's why.
Okay.
It was City Moore, Suicide Boys, Shakewell, and was it Knight Lavelle?
Knight Lavelle was supposed to play,
crazy.
but I don't think he did.
They had some other fucking dude there. I forget who it was, but Shakewell was insane. I don't even like him that much, and like the whole crowd was going nuts.
Mm-hmm. I only know one song by him, and it's like Sleeping Bag or something, I think.
He has that one song, Leg Lock or something like that. I don't know. One of his songs goes off really hard, so...
That was the hottest I've ever felt it inside Starland. I was literally dying. Like, I had to take my shirt off and everything. I was like, no, it's too hot in here.
So what I was going to ask was, so when you want to go to a show, like there, but you don't want to work it, you want to have fun there, what do you do?
It depends. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, Fallen Universe came around last year, and it was them, Escape to Fate, and The Word Alive. And I was like, maybe I'll work. Because I've seen all the bands before. We've played with 2 of them before. I wish it was Fallen Universe. It was the other 2. But so I asked to work, and they had a full call. So I didn't work. So instead of working, I kind of got priority access to not sit on the entire line. It goes around the entire parking lot. We were able to go through the smoking section and get right in. And then, let's put it this way, if anyone became near me inside there, about 4 people would just jump them. And it wouldn't be, like, I'd have to just look, and they would just come right after anybody that touches me. So if it's a show like Suicide Boys that I really enjoy, I'll tell them, like, I can't work. And
what do they see you?
They see me all the time there. They don't take it personally. They really don't. They're really chill. Like, my boss is like, the thing I like about my bosses is that they're not like corporate dickheads. Like, they're on the floor working. Like, the smaller guys with the big beards, like, they're my supervisors, but they're out there, they're doing the barricade, they're doing the doors, they're not upstairs having tea time with somebody. Like, they're actually out there working with us.
In the field.
There's definitely a level of respect that comes, at least from my perspective. It's like, all right, like, you get it, but it's like, you're a dipshit. I go, you want to talk to my boss? He's right behind me. Sir, you're a fucking cocksucker. And my boss is like super mad. He goes, ma'am, how may we help you? I want to bring my birth control in. Ma'am, you can't bring any pills in here. No, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't bring any pills in? I go, man, we have a no strict pill policy. This is bullshit. And I'm just like,
I gotta take my shit at 8:25, damn it. Like, oh my god.
People got no chill there. They don't. People are like, you know what? You know what I got? I go, what? I go, I got a fucking knife. I go, you're not bringing it in here. I'm like, have fun trying to get it through security. You're not going to get it through. The first line I ever worked, there was an off-duty cop brought a gun in there.
What a guy.
Okay.
And I'm like, sir, what's that in here? He goes, I'm like, sir, you can't bring that in here. He goes, well, I'm off duty. I go, I don't care if you're on duty. You're not bringing it in here.
Wow. There's this one guy at Starland. He's a security guy. He's right in the barricade. I love this guy so much. He's this short, bald guy. He has a head tattoo, I believe.
Yes, I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, very. He does. He does like roofing too. I forget his name. It's not Ray. It's like. Maybe it is Ray. It's been so long since I've been.
He looks like a Ray, so I'd believe it.
Yeah, it might be a Ray, but yeah, he's like a
do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Is it
Do I, Chris?
Spanish?
He has like
not you.
He's like Spanish looking. Yeah, head tattoos, neck, ears, the whole 9 yards. He's super nice.
Yeah,
but you get on his
such a
bad
cool
side,
guy.
he'll kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, he's like wearing gloves all the time.
Yeah.
He looks like he's ready to fuck someone up, but he's so nice to me whenever I'm there.
It's funny you brought him up, 'cause I was literally gonna bring him up and say like, who's the security guard? 'Cause every time I see him, like
He's the most
always
notable.
like, yeah, he's always like, if someone's doing something, like he's always right there, just yelling at them or something. Like he's always on it.
Yeah.
Every time I'm there, he's just always right there.
Their security there is like amazing. They're like, that's why it's part of the best venue. It sounds great. They have great shows. It's like a great space to be, and like it's all around perfect.
I don't know what show.
I
love
love
it.
my Sweet 16 there.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what show it was, Chris. There was like one time the security, like, it surprised me. Like, something happened in the pit, and then there was a bunch of lights, and security was like all around the pit.
Yeah,
everywhere.
they're
I was
like a fucking UFO shining lights down.
The way they have us
like
do it,
they're all
they have like people on the barricade, and they have like the boxes, like where the security stands, and pretty much we'll shine the lights every so often to kind of get a look in the crowd. But if there's something going on, like we usually. Like, the people in the boxes will shine the light at us at barricade, because they put me literally everywhere they put me. And then it's pretty much for us to catch crowd service, so we can't see them. So they shine the lights so we get like a little look, and then we can grab them before they come over. And then we'll shine at them if we think the pit's out of control, or people are throwing shit and people. We had to throw people out at a Queen tribute show. We had to throw them out.
Oh, I was gonna go to that. Really?
It was very good, but like people had no fucking chill. They were harassing this one girl that was like talking to me, like they were just I'm like, you people drink too fucking much alcohol. Like, calm down.
Like, enjoy the show a little bit, you know? Seriously.
You guys have like a code with the flashlights, basically. You're like,
yeah, it's like one. I forget it. My supervisor would kill me, but it was like you had to like flash it a couple of times for certain things or so. So, and I know what to look out for. Like, I know to look out for Dylan and Jeremy from Monument out there chugging a beer in the back from the
Shout out Monument Memory.
Yeah, from the fucking World Bar.
Yeah. I think the scariest thing is, like, so I usually stand against the barricade. I usually try to get there as much as possible. when you're watching the show and you're really into it, you know, you got your phone out, you're just like jumping up and down, singing or whatever, and you see the security guard come up in the barricade, you gotta duck. Because there's some, like, fat fuck gonna come down and kick you in the head. Like, that's crowd
I've
surfing.
almost missed a couple crowd surfs. I did miss one, and they screamed at me. Because it wasn't like I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention, but you can't watch it all at the same time. And the problem is they don't have enough people on the barricade sometimes. And I don't like the barricade because I don't want fucking Oompa Loompa coming over the fucking barricade and I gotta catch him.
There should be a weight limit on crowd surfing. Like, someone like Isaiah can crowd surf. Michael, he's skinny, but, like, he's huge.
I'm
Like,
200 pounds, 6.
Right, but that's
pretty
fine.
yeah, but, like, you work it. You're, like, 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
So, like, you're a big guy, so I don't think you should be like,
I don't want anyone to crowd surf me.
no.
Yeah.
There are some people,
Yeah.
like, there's some, like, fat chicks that try to crowd surf, and you see them coming, I'm like, this is going to end so badly. So you're almost hoping they get dropped before they go over the barricade, because then it's the crowd's problem, it's not our problem. That's fucked up as to say, that's just the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're awfully quiet over there, man.
I don't know. You talk about his job.
Yeah.
I like your hat.
Thank you. My sister made it for me.
It's a pretty cool
Really?
hat.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like, where's Waldo?
Is it like crocheted? My
Yeah,
mom
she
does
crocheted
that.
it. She made one for everyone in my family, but I'm the only one who wears it. So.
Hey, man.
At least someone wears it.
Represent.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how your guys' band just came to be. Like, whose idea was it? How did it come to be? Just run it down.
The origin story.
We have a very interesting how we met, actually, but I'll get to that. So pretty much, growing up, I've always been around music. My uncle had a metal TV show for 8 years. I think it was like 14 seasons, that metal show.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, my uncle's Jim Florentine.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I've always been around it since a kid. You know, I met and then I was always like, I've always liked it. I didn't know I'd ever get into it. And then I met Clown from Slipknot. He was like, do you want to stand side stage? This was at Mayhem Fest 2012. He was like, do you want to sit side stage? I'm like, yeah. He goes, it'll change your life. And I'm watching this band. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I fucking want to do in my life. I was like, fuck playing sports. This is what I want to do. So about 2 years later, me and a couple of my buddies just started practicing. Like, we're going to make a band. And oh my God, did we suck the first couple years. So we went through like a billion band names. We first used to be called Cold Blooded with a K. From Vinny and Dimebag's side project Damage Plan. They had a song called Cold Blooded. We're like, oh, that's a cool name. But we want to make it unique, so we used K from Korn. So it was Cold Blooded with a K, which lasted for a couple years, and then that also comes back around. And then people don't like to commit when they're like 16 years old to anything, it seems like. And it's just in and out of people. And, you know, we did some backyard shows. That we played the Stone Pony twice. They did not like us, the Stone Pony, at all. Just the people there.
Tough crowd.
Not even the crowd was great. The security and the staff were just
Oh,
douchebags.
I thought you said the crowd didn't like
No, the
it.
crowd was fine. We had a whole bunch of like our family and friends there, but like the security was just a bunch of dickbags.
Take bags.
And then through my old guitar teacher, we started playing the Brighton Bar in Long Branch. We still somehow play there. I don't know how we still play there. We did that a couple times, and then we discovered Championship Bar in Trenton.
Yeah,
And the first time I went there, they were like, catering, free food. We're like, this is the greatest thing ever. Now, we did not know what Champs looked like going in
Yeah,
there.
I've heard things. Not great things, but
Have you ever been to Champs?
I have not.
You're very lucky.
Yeah.
Is the food good at least?
Well, it was like 2-day-old lasagna, so it wasn't bad. But we're used to not getting any food, so it was
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
It was
You
an
walk
upgrade.
in there, it's in the middle of the fucking hood. You look around, I'm like, we're gonna get shot. And you go to the bathroom. There's no door on the stall. So anytime like we were trying to like change into like stage clothes or out of stage clothes, we had to have one person stand guard of the stall
Yeah.
at Champs.
They have it that way so you can make friends.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a good
exactly.
idea actually. And then like you walk in, and look, Champs is a good spot, but it's so run down. It's so intimidating, especially if you're like not into like a sleazy hardcore band. Like it just you get appalled the minute you walk in there. So we've had a couple good shows there. Champs is a very hard sell because it's Trenton. Like it's people hear the word Trenton, they're like, I don't know about that one. But it's a good spot. When they like, I saw Rust Repose there when Jared Dines was in them a couple years ago. That was the hottest I've ever been to in my life. It was like 110 in there. No air conditioning, no fans, this and that. So it's a cool spot. So we did that, and then kept doing the Brighton, and then about a few months later, we kicked out our drummer because he just sucked. He used to play, and his cymbals be slanted at a 90-degree angle. It was the weirdest thing. To be like, and I'm just like, this guy is fucking terrible.
Was it for aesthetic or like?
No, it was just he sucked. That was just the bottom line.
No idea what it was.
I'm different.
Right.
So after that, we weren't really doing much. We did one song about 3 or 4 months earlier. We had released it. It was called "Slaves of the System," and so we had the one song. We were still doing shows, but we weren't really sure what to do. So my drum teacher, who happens to be my 4th grade school teacher as well, small world. We were talking one day, and we got offered a show at the Bright, and he was like, I was like, Mike, we need a drummer, and he goes, well, I got a kid, and I go, how old? He goes, he's 12, and I'm like, and I'm 17 at this point. I go, 12. I'm like, okay. I was like, how good? He goes, he's really good. I'm like, we'll see. So I went to his house a few days later, and we jammed Bulls on Parade. That was the first ever song we did.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, it's pretty good. Now, we had practiced a couple times. We had an original guitar player at this point for a couple years named Nico, who lived in the Bronx and somehow came to New Jersey all the time because he had grandparents that lived like 10 minutes from my house. Somehow we kept a guitar player from another state in the band for 2 years. I don't know how we did it. I don't know how I fucking dragged myself to keep him around. But we did a show, me, him, Nico, and our guitar player at the time, Josh. And, we expected it to be decent. And then he starts wailing these like drum fills. And we're like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is what we've been missing. This is great. Then a month later, the original guitar player got fired. Not from me. His father fired him because he got caught smoking weed too many times.
Son of a bitch.
So we
Deserves it.
almost called it quits after that. 'Cause I was like, I've never done anything with him before. And to that point, he'd wrote all the music, even though it was only one song. He'd wrote all the music. So I was like, I really wasn't playing too much guitar at that point. So then we got offered to do a show in New York. And the reason we got the show in New York was because of a SoundCloud message. It's the stupidest thing ever. A SoundCloud message let us playing a show in New York. You remember this one, Blackthorn 51.
Yes.
We walk into the show. It's me, him, and our guitar player Josh at the time. We walk in like, okay. I'm like, this is the right show. I'm like, this is like not usually what a metal crowd looks like. And then we found out they put us on a rap show.
And I mean, like, it's not like, I mean, it's just like a thing that we were the only white people in the entire
and the guitar player we had was black too.
Yeah.
So literally, it was just me, him, and my dad were the only white people in the entire club.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is gonna be
something.
fun. And this craziest thing ever, they loved us.
Yeah.
I mean, they loved it.
I was gonna
they
say that.
went
You probably played
nuts.
and they
That must have
loved
felt so enlightening.
Yeah.
We did Bodies from Drowning Pool, and they started jumping up and down. They started
Yeah.
moshing. We're sitting there like,
I was like,
how is this happening? Like, how? So then we're like, all right, I guess we can really play other styles of shows. So then we did, so we wrote another song. We did Nightmare Never Ending second. And then we did some shows. We did like the Brighton Bar. We did Champs. Then we went back to New York. We did another rap show. It didn't go as good, but they still liked us a lot. Yeah. We did a 50 Cent cover in the club, and
that was something.
That was something else.
Because we were like, we need to pander for some reason, so we picked that song.
Yeah.
And it.
We were trying to we were like, all right, like who's from Queens? We were like, all right, 50 Cent's from like Brooklyn. That's close enough. And then
yeah.
I thought it was gonna go well, but it was like I forgot the words a lot, and they just like they were looking at us like, no, it's not working.
We didn't really. We kind of chose to do that like only a couple weeks before the show, so we didn't like practice.
It wasn't well rehearsed at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, we might have been able to pull it off. I don't think it was a good choice at all. But
no,
it was still. Overall, it was a good show.
It's so cringy.
Yeah. Overall, it was a good show though.
So then we did some more at the Brighton Bar, a couple, and then we played this new spot. Actually, no, we didn't play a new spot. We played Blackthorn 51 again, and then we started doing more shows. We did Game Changer World one time before they got shut down.
Yeah.
I love that place. I love the tending shit there, and I love playing the one show.
I hear a lot of good things about it. A lot of bands we have that played there say a lot of good things. Didn't Knights and Mouse like
because
it felt like a teenage hangout. Like it felt like Inkwell if Inkwell was like a fucking like a venue. Yeah. They didn't serve any alcohol, and they had good food there too.
And there was like a whole back room where there was like
an
other bands and shit.
Arcade backstage. It had like old school like
Pac-Man style
Pac-Man
games.
And like
stuff like that.
Not Ultimate Fighter. What's it? That old '90s like
Street
arcade.
Fighter?
Street Fighter. Is it like
King
another
of Fighters?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. They had that. So then it was cool, but then they closed it down 7 months later, which sucked.
When I went there for Van Ness Farewell Tour, and I went there and I got a pizza, and it was like a graham cracker with ketchup and like shredded cheese. I was like, what But I paid like $8
The
for
pizza
it.
was like an inch fucking thick. Like, it was like the definition of thin crust, but it was
Yeah,
like a thin
literally.
pizza.
That's funny.
But a great venue. It
Really
It was a
was.
great
When they didn't have the air conditioning on, it got hot in there, and I mean, it got fucking hot in there. And nothing was hotter when ICP played there with the fucking fuego going around, and they just. I've seen ICP a couple of times. I don't go because the music. I go because it's. What's better than watching clowns on stage throw fucking root beer at each other?
Yeah.
It's so much fucking fun just to watch in the crowd.
I've never actually listened to one of their songs before. I think I've heard maybe like part of it, but
They hit me with a fucking bottle of Fuego once in a white shirt and just got
Man, that's
ruined.
what Fuego is.
oh,
It's
it's
an alcohol.
that soda. No,
It's a
Yeah,
soda.
it's like
Oh.
soda root beer. It's like
Soda root.
I don't know. It's like a form of root beer.
Oh,
It smells like shit because it was
I've
all over
never
my
heard
fucking
of it.
clothes.
They don't sell it around here, do they?
No,
Yeah.
It's like it's just like dollar store soda basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
really cheap.
oh, it's like Stars and Stripes cola, that type of
Yeah.
shit. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
You make it.
Yeah, so then we did some more local shit, Brighton, Champs, New York, and then we did the backtrack to go forward. We about a year earlier to that point, we had this wonderful idea of let's go find us someone to go produce our songs. So we decided John Moyer from Disturbed. Like, this is going to be the guy. So he had on his website, he goes, yeah, you know, I've worked with bands, this should be a message. So he actually emailed us back. We're like, holy shit, this is like happening. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
He's like, he reminds me of like Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. And we're like, wow, we can die in peace. We just got compared to Linkin Park. Holy shit.
The guy.
And Limp Bizkit.
I know.
The guy whose part you can hear for 2 seconds in Down with the Sickness.
Yeah.
He said we were Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is really cool. So about a year later, we actually went out to Texas and we recorded a 4-song EP with John Moyer. He was supposed to go, and then his father in the 11th hour goes, and didn't let him go.
Yeah.
So me and the bass player went out there and we tried the whole thing. Talk about a experience. Great time, but when you've never recorded like professionally, oh, they'll kick your fucking ass. And like, we were not ready. Always like, no, this sucks. And we're just like, what do you mean this sucks? Like, we were like so insulted. We're like, what do you mean that part sucks? It's like, because it's like our first child. Like, we love it so much. We're like, no, you have to change the fucking song. We're like, but why? He goes, because the song sucks. And I'm like,
Damn.
okay, it really sucks. But then you look up and you see all the gold plaques, all the platinum plaques, and then you see the Billboard #1 200. I'm just like,
You know, he might know what he's
I'm
talking
like, he
about.
might know what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So we did 4 songs. We came in there with the first 2 songs we ever wrote, which was Slaves of the System and Nightmare Never Ending, and then we wrote another one called House of Hell. And then they would tell you like you write like some of your best shit like in just like 40 minutes. It's crazy. I wrote that in school suspension, House of Hell. 40 minutes. I just sat there. I was like, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, done. And you know what? And then some songs they spent 6 months on, and they still won't come out good. That's just you don't know how it goes. So we did that, recorded the record, and then we were supposed to do some shows. Then Mr. Shoprite Man comes back around. So he was in the band prior to that. Then he somehow found me at Korn at PNC. He's like, yo, we should jam. I'm like, I don't know about this one again. I'm like, we're going to repeat yourself. Because he's supposed to go to Texas with us, and he never did. Because he said he was busy with his friends.
Did he pass his ShopRite boot camp?
He still works there to this day.
Fuck, it was worth it.
In the deli department.
He's doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Hero, ShopRite Man.
Yeah, Shoprite Man.
That's a new single, ShopRite Man.
True.
We have one about him on our new record we're writing right now. It's going to be ugly.
Does he know?
No.
I
I
probably
don't,
listen to
talk
his
to, I don't talk to him anymore, so it doesn't really matter. He'll hear it when it comes out one day. But so we were supposed to do about like a 10. When I mean week, like we're doing like weekends, so like a 10 weekend run. It was like 10 straight weekends. We had done like earlier we did like it was like 6 out of 8 weekends in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a bunch of teenagers, it's a lot to be traveling up and down the tri-state area, doing shows every weekend or every other weekend. So, but you learn to adapt to the shit. You learn to eat fast food real quickly.
Oh yeah.
Fast food and sleep in a fucking dirty van. You learn the whole 9 yards. We weren't even in the van yet.
No, I don't think so.
We were in a Ford Taurus, in a beige Ford Taurus. It was the weirdest
Literally
fucking thing ever.
Couldn't even fit like half the equipment in. Like we drove to the Brighton bar for one show, and we had to cram the entire drum set.
I had to think about
his
it
guitar rig, the bass rig in there.
Because
I was like sitting. I had like the floor tom on my lap, and like I was like, it was terrible. And then we got there, and there was a drum set we could already use.
Yeah, they told us there was gonna be no drum kit, so we packed in 3 band members and a guitar and bass rig. And a drum kit, a full drum kit, and we get them, they're like, "Oh, this is a drum kit here you can use." I'm like,
"Bruh,
we just played Tetris for an hour, you son of a bitch."
And they told us that too halfway through setting it up in the parking lot so that we could bring it inside. They were like, "Oh yeah, you don't need that." I'm like, "What do you fucking mean we don't need this?"
Thanks for not saying it.
That was terrible, but it was all right.
It was all right.
Shove it back in.
Yes, shove it back in the ShopRite. So we were supposed to do like another fucking long run. Mr. ShopRite, the first day of the tour, says, I don't really want to do this anymore. And he just ghosted us. So we had to cancel almost the entire fucking run. So we're just like, fuck this, I don't know what we're going to do. So somehow during one of our rehearsals, we wrote our biggest hit ever, which is the letter Y, like YMCA, Y. We wrote that in what, 40 minutes?
Probably, yeah.
Literally just 2 riffs, and we just figured it out. And I remember, and then we tracked it with my friend's dad in Staten Island. And look, we thought it would be like decently popular. That thing fucking won an award last year for best rock song from some like Greek website or some shit. I was like, listen, it's like that episode of SpongeBob. I was like, I won an award.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So we wrote our biggest hit, and we didn't do anything for a couple months. And then we started doing some shows, and then we could never find consistent guitar players. That's always been our issue. We'd have them, they'd show up, they wouldn't know the fucking songs, or they wouldn't show up, but we can never get the perfect mixture. Did a couple more shows. We're into 2018. The infamous ShopRite show happens, and then we're just like, we're done. I can't do this anymore. Not like we're gonna call it quits. We're just like, we gotta figure this out. So then I decided, because I was talking to, you guys remember Illusionist?
I know.
Yeah. I ran into Sam from Illusionist when he was in Illusionist at House of Independence watching Memphis Mayfire, and I was like, look, I'm like, you know, you guys run Diamond Concert, you don't answer my fucking emails. So I kind of corner him, I go, so what's it gonna take to do a show? Sam, he goes, you want to do a show next month here? And I go, really? He goes, no. He goes, the Music Foundation down the street. I go, yeah, sure, why not? So I decided, which I don't even know how I had the courage to. I went up there and I made, you know how rappers go up there with just a DJ and the fucking track and just sing over it? Mm-hmm. I decided I was done with fucking band members for a little while. I did my own solo tour by myself. I went up there with a mic and a guitar and a backing track like a rapper for 2 months and just slugged it out there by myself. Trust me, you learn to control a crowd and you learn to get over your fear going on stage when it's only you up there, because you cannot fucking hide. Going up there in front of 100 people, you're like, okay, I'm the only one up here. Hello! And it's just like, yeah, I gotta get this. But by like the end of the tour, people were like, this is fucking amazing. Fuck your band members. Meanwhile, I never invite any of them to come to the shows. I just made like this whole little fuck my band members. So I just called it Who Needs Band Members Tour. I just did it all by myself with a couple guests here and there. So then him and the rest of them were just like, what the fuck you doing? You're doing this by yourself? Yeah. So we had a guitar player. We had some ads out for guitar players. So my whole idea was like, if we can't find a guitar player, fuck them. I'll just do my own shit. I'll just go up there and I'll play our songs by ourselves. And then when we find one, then we'll figure it out from there. So a few months earlier, we had met, or we didn't meet. We went to the studio in South River called Tracks East, and we were tracked there. It was me, you, and Vaughn, and it was awful. Like it was like we were trying to do more songs, and the guy pulled me in the control room. His name was Pat, and he was just like, "So that fucking sucked, my guy. That really sucked." He goes, "You guys suck as a band." I go, "Yeah, we really do." He goes, "But I have an idea. You gotta give me a few days." So he turns around and goes, "All right, I don't have enough time for your pet project anymore." He goes, "But I have a guy who does." I go, "Who is this?" He goes, "Chris Penny of the Dillinger Escape Plan." I go, "Dillinger?" He goes, "Yes." I go, "Okay." So he gives me his number and we talk. And June 1st, 2018, my life changed forever. He came to my house and we started writing. We wrote you can't see it, but I'll hold it up. We wrote this whole record in 6 weeks. They always tell you have your whole life to write your first record. Half the record was written over my whole life, and then the last half we wrote in like 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
Mixed, mastered, wrote, tracked everything in 6 weeks. We had it done on like the 4th of July. And I think that was like the big thing. We needed someone to kind of sit there and like help us retool our songs and figure it out. And it helps the guy that was, that found the Dillinger and played in Coheed and fucking, it tells the stories. Yeah, dude, I toured with System of a Down during Toxicity. We're like, huh? He's like, yeah, I talked to James Hetfield. We're like, James Hetfield?
Literally.
He's like, yeah, bro, and he goes, I almost got the Slipknot kick. I go, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I tried out for Slipknot twice. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, same with Korn. I go, who else? He goes, Limp Bizkit. I'm like, I'm like, did you really get serious? And he goes, I almost got the 9 Inch Nails. And I'm like, you say this like a casual thing, 9 Inch Nails.
Well, I didn't get it.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't get it. I'm like, it's 9 Inch Nails, dude.
Just be happy you got the opportunity.
Yeah, like just get included with those names.
I'd give a testicle to try out, you know?
I know, like, and we were talking on the one day, he goes, we're like, who'd you not tour? He goes, well, I did that tour. He goes, it was My Chem, Linkin Park, and Coheed. I'm like, My Chemical Romance and Linkin Park? He's like, yeah, me and Chester, like, we were talking about this yesterday. He goes, yeah, me and Chester had some good conversation. I'm like, you just say this so casually. I'm like, how?
Astonishing.
Like, just Chester Bennington, James Hetfield, Serge Tankian, Wes Borland. I'm just like, this is fucking nuts. So we then had an ad from Mr. Kevin Lewis.
Yes.
This guy named Kevin Lewis answered our ad and was like, hey, I play guitar. I get my driver's license next week. You guys want to jam? We're like, okay. So we called our old bass player. Go, we got a guitar player. Finally. We all get in the room. It was a little rusty. So they call an old guitar player. I go, Josh, we need an insurance policy. Can you play this show with non-point? We have come. He goes, yeah, I can do that. It's like, okay. And I'm like, wow, now we have an actual band again.
Yeah.
Didn't last too long with that version of the lineup. So we did 2 shows with the 5 of us. And the 3rd show, we did, we did New York City. I don't remember why you couldn't come.
It was probably like if it was like a Sunday or something. Sunday. Yeah, because that was when my dad would be too. If it was like a school night, he was like, no, absolutely not.
He was
I'm
like
not going to New York
his dad
City.
be like on his period about certain things.
Which, yeah, he was like, you need to focus on school, and I'm like, I have like 3 Ds, and like I don't know how.
That's why you gotta focus.
No, I don't know. Like I don't know how I can turn this around at this point. I either like I might as well just fail everything. Let me go. But at this point, he's not.
Drop out and join a band.
Thank God he's not like that anymore. But yeah, so he's at home. And we're in the Freedom Tower doing the fucking tour. Because we're like, let's just be real assholes. Let's do the whole New York City experience. We did the Freedom Tower tour and the pools where they had the old towers at. We played a show, another rap show, of course. Mm-hmm. We kind of liked it. It wasn't the best, but it was enough. And then next couple shows he couldn't come, so now it was the 5 of us. Now it was the 4 of us, and the next show was the 3 of us because the bass player didn't come either. And the show was with Head PE, yes, that band from like 25 years ago that was relevant 25 years ago. So we play the show, this major fucking amount of money on the show. We're like, all right, it's going to be a good show. There was like 9 people in the fucking room.
Yeah.
And I'm so irritated because the bass player is not there, he's not there. So we're playing the songs and everyone at the bar is kind of just, like there's like the stage is here, the bar is like another 100 yards back. And they're not paying attention. I'm like, listen to me, motherfucker, turn around. They're like, who's this? And I'm like, I'm fucking Machine Gun Kelly, turn around now. And we were gonna play Before I Forget from Slipknot, and I was like, this next one's by Slipknot, and I just heard and I'm like, all right, I guess we're not gonna play it. They go, what do you mean you're not gonna play it? And the first and only time that me and the crowd actually almost got into a tussle in front of the stage, me and the crowd were yelling at each other, going, you guys don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. I don't give it. And I'm just like, oh my God. So we did play the Slipknot song, and then we just got the fuck out of there. I'm like, we're never playing here ever again. So that goes on. Now, another show he didn't come to, but he wishes he was at. We did a Rutgers Basement show. We did it. It was called New Metal Night. We dressed up as Slipknot. And did a Slipknot tribute set. Then there was another band that did Deftones. One did Linkin Park, and then one did System of a Down. So we had the mask and everything, and everyone's like, "What are you gonna play?" I go, "You watch." We opened the show at Iowa. The song. We opened the show.
Oh no way!
Yeah, and people were like, "Shit!" They're like,
the whole song?
we had to like chop it up. It was
Okay.
too long.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
we did like the 4-minute version of
Did
it.
you do the throwing up, screaming, and cutting part?
I yelled it as loud as I could during that part. I'll send you guys the fucking footage from it. It was really cool. And people were like, people were so stunned. They're like, they just opened with Iowa. Like, how the fuck is? And that was it was the shock value part of it. We did people equal shit. We did surfacing. We were gonna do Custer, and these fuckers are like, dude, can you guys play Rage? We're like, Rage Against the Machine. Like, yeah, Rage. So we bust out, and then we didn't fucking, like, no one could decide we wanted to play or not, so we played break stuff from Limp Bizkit, and they went ape shit. I mean, they went ape shit in this basement. And the whole basement's moshing. And then we did play Rage, and we came back, we did Psychosocial, we did Before I Forget, and then they had like this like furnace thing. We had a circle pit around the furnace in the fucking basement, and I hit my head on the top of the fucking furnace. It was top 5 greatest show of all time, without a drummer too.
So what's number 1?
I'll get to that.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
What is number 1?
I gotta think about that. But so then we did another fucking rap show again, and the one guitar player, Kevin, who wasn't there, it was just the 4 of us, and everyone was just like, what are you gonna do? I go, well, my grandmother just died 2 days earlier. I go, they're like, so we're gonna have, so I go, no, we're going to play the show. They're like, what? And I go, I'm like, we're getting on stage. They're like, you sure? And I was like, I got a lot of anger, and I'm gonna get it out tonight. That ended up being one of our best shows, the one at Blackthorn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was, the crowd didn't give a single shit about us at all. But we, like, as a band, sounded so good. But you're going to remember this very quickly. Mm-hmm. We go to the show, and he's like, do you have drumsticks? I go, what do you mean, do I have drumsticks? He goes, I don't have drumsticks. I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Man. The one thing I needed to bring, sitting at home in my...
So we went to Walmart across the street, and we bought wooden, like, block sticks, like this long. It looked like drumsticks.
It was like 3 inches thick.
Yeah,
like
it was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It looks like little children's blocks of wood we bought. And then, because we were late, because of that, and then the guitar player missed the Uber to get there, that we got there so late, they put us on at 10:30 at night. We're like, what the fuck? Why are we on this late? So no one cared by that. But it was really good, though.
Yeah.
It was really hot, though, in there. Like,
Yeah.
really hot.
And I took off, I was wearing a jacket because it was like January, so I took it off and I put it behind the drum set. Forgot it, left it behind the drum set. We came back, 10 months later, and it was still there.
It didn't move.
Oh, wow.
It didn't. So obviously someone either...
It's supposed to be there.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be there. Someone didn't do a good enough check backstage because it was just hanging on the side of the stage.
It was
still.
just there, and I was like, I still have it.
We did
Shit luck.
Yeah,
Right?
we did a couple more shows. He would be at some, he wouldn't be at some, so we still would go up there with like the fucking band tracks. We just keep playing like it. So it was like a 3-person rap show up there, especially. I could explain it.
Yeah.
This went on. It was good, and then we did our DVD DVD for our first. Like we did like a whole release show. We got all of our friends and family, and we load out the Brighton bar, all these bands and that, and to make it even more fucking exciting and arrogant, we showed up in a fucking limo.
Oh, wow.
And we showed up at the Brighton bar in a limo.
Yeah.
But I had this great, I was like, I got a better idea. They go, what's that? I go, we're going to go onto the stage from the fucking limo. We made my cousin drive around the block in the limo, and we got out, and my one friend goes, the president's here! The president is here!
Yeah.
And then everyone like hyped us up. We came out of the limo, went on the stage. Nothing in the world could be more hyped than that.
Yeah.
Coming out of a limo on the stage.
It was a little pretentious, but
Yeah.
it was great. It was great.
I got one more.
Yeah.
If you guys were to drive the limo onto the stage,
Could you imagine
And then hop
that?
out.
Yeah,
And
like
then
Rob
hop out.
Halford with the motorcycle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the only way to top it.
that would
be the only way to top
Monster
that.
truck onto the stage. You can do that.
True.
great.
Yeah.
That's the next show.
That's the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah.
The next show, so 2023.
Gosh.
So we did a couple more shows, and then we did. We played in Easton, Pennsylvania. This is how stacked this lineup was. It has 2 Metal Antics alumni on the show. It was Escape the Fate doing This Is Our War or whatever the 08 record is, front to back. Us, One Time Without, Monument of a Memory, Across the Whitewater Tower, Vitruvia, Skylit Drive, motherfucker. it was like 7, 8 bands. It was like, wow, like we're included with all the big fish, and this was really fun. And like this was another fucking shit show of a story. Me and the guitar player Kevin go out there at like 2 o'clock to go do load in. We get there, we're the only band without the full band there, and I'm like, wow, we look real fucking
Good.
dickheads right now. We really do. And the promoter really liked us, which helped a lot. The promoter, his name is Tom Taylor. He looks like Owen Wilson if Owen Wilson was on steroids. Like this dude's ripped with long hair, and he's just, as Chris Payne would say, too many shows with no earplugs.
Yeah.
The whole time. I'm just like, holy shit.
Like veins, like a
He'd
single
be like,
paper
all right, and a 5-minute load on, 5-minute load off. We're like, yo, chill the fuck out.
we can
Scared
hear
the
you.
shit out of a bunch of people in their cars right now.
I know, it's gonna be great. So I'm there and the guitar player's there. Now, my father is in another vehicle with him, our bass player, our guitar player, and 2 of my friends. Our guitar player at the time, does anyone know where Plainfield is?
Yeah.
Plainfield's in the middle of fucking nowhere, I'm sure as you guys know. It's a bitch to get to.
Especially from where we live.
There's like 3 Plainfields. There's Plainfield, North Plainfield,
It's
South Plainfield.
regular Plainfield's where this
Regular
kid lives.
Oh, that's like
Yeah.
that's like in between.
Yeah.
From here, it's not terrible.
Yeah,
But
from Madawan or
It's a-
Old Bridge, it sucks.
It's about
okay,
it's like
yeah,
a 45-minute
That's
drive.
pretty
Yeah.
far.
So we're gonna Uber him to like the 287 Quick Check in South Plainfield to get him closer to Pennsylvania. He
Yeah.
missed the fucking Uber. So my dad had to go drive into fucking Plainfield to go get this kid. That cost a half hour.
Yeah.
First band goes on, and I'm telling you, I'm nervous. I'm like, we're shitting. Like I met Ozzy, and I was less nervous than before the show. I'm like, bro, literally, where the fuck is the band? This is our biggest show ever to our entire career at this point. And meanwhile, they're in the van coming to meet us.
It really wouldn't have even been that bad. Like if he missed the Uber, we would have been fine. But of course, 80% of the band is also in that van and isn't at the show. Like,
so we
we're
couldn't
just-
do anything.
Yeah.
So we're stalling. I mean, we are stalling up there so badly. So they're like, here's the deal. You gotta start. And we're like, uh-oh. I'm like, well, I guess we're just gonna do the 2 of us right now at the biggest show ever with Escape the Fate. And I'm like, okay. So we start Bodies from Drowning Pool, and I shit you not, I at least start the song, and I look left, and come flying to the door is the 3 band members. As the first song starts,
Crazy.
they showed up.
An entrance,
I'm just like,
Right,
and I'm
what a
sitting there,
movie.
I'm like, God damn it!
So,
like,
like-
5 minutes.
Like the only thing I had to bring was sticks and a double bass in my pedal. So I jump up there and I go and like by the first verse I'm playing as well. So
The
I
first,
jump in,
there's
but it
so
takes
much
them the rest of the
confusion
song.
going on.
The way you
People are so
described it.
confused.
Yeah.
And eventually he figured out that there's a pedal up there. He thought there wasn't a pedal up there, so he jumps in and then the first verse starts
Yeah.
playing. So I was like, all right, well, now we got 3 people playing. By the second song, the other 2 were plugged in, ready to go.
Yeah.
And then we did crush the rest of the show.
It was a great show.
They really liked the show. We made $300 in merch that night. We sold 37 fucking t-shirts.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we sold them at $5 a pop, but we did sell 37 t-shirts.
Yeah.
get the name out. Of
And
that
it was
one.
just like we wanted to get the shirts out. That said, we sold out of all the CDs, all the shirts, and I remember Escape the Fate sold like 1 piece of merch the entire night, and all the other local bands were looking at us like, the fuck, what is this, Bernie Madoff over here?
Yeah.
We're moving shit. I mean, we were selling discounts, this and that, and
Yeah,
then
running out of shirt sizes like.
we ran everything, and then someone got our fucking signatures tattooed on them. Remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Some guy's like, "Ooh, could you sign my arm?" And we signed it. He goes, "I'm gonna get it tattooed." I'm like,
And then he did.
"Wow."
Yeah.
How
Was that the?
did you make it big? Or
We made it. It was
like-
like I don't know.
Like-
It was like here to here. It was decently
It was-
big.
yeah.
So
fucking nuts.
some moron in PA has my signature
Yeah.
and his on it.
Was that the show where we weren't using the headliner's drum set, but we were using another band's drum set that was set up in front of it, and you did like a flip off the bass
Oh,
drum,
no.
and the drummer from that band was watching, and he was in the front, and he was like, you know, like if you play guitar in a band, you're gonna be watching the guitarist the whole time. So he was watching me the whole time, and he sees him jump off his bass drum, and after the show he comes up like, this fucking $300 bass drum you're jumping off. I'm like, dude, if you paid. It was like an 18-inch
It was
bass
our
drum. I was
first
like,
time ever
dude.
playing this venue, and
Yeah.
the
This
way
guy
they
was
had
so
they had like
angry.
a backline kit there, so there's a kit there already,
Yeah.
and pretty much we're all set up, and this guy comes in and goes, I want my drum kit up there, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They had to change out the
Like-
entire drum kit, and then during the first couple songs, I get up and I jump off his drum kit.
Yeah.
Oh,
You did a flip or you just
I jumped off
Oh,
of
you
it.
just because he
yeah.
jumped, he like stood up on it and then
And I
jumped,
jumped
off
off
the
of
thing.
it. And he screamed, that's $3,000. Like,
I was like, what?
I'm like, then don't backline it. Sorry, don't
Literally,
backline it, bro.
It was like it was like a maybe like a 18 or 20 inch bass drum, and this dude was like, if you paid $3,000 for that, dude, you got fucking scammed,
Yeah.
dude. You got shit on real
So-
bad. I was like, dude, you need to chill out. And then was that also the same show?
No, that was 2017.
Okay,
That
but
was an
I
Al
brought my snare like because I have a nice like chrome snare that I use and it's really nice and I let other bands use it if they need it, and like I'm pretty sure I don't think it was the same band, but it was another like douchebaggy drummer who wanted to use his drum set, but I let him use my snare.
I remember this one.
And then he was like, because we went on before them.
Wasn't the snare stuck up there for like 2 straight
Yeah,
minutes?
yeah.
They wouldn't change out the
They-
snare.
I was like, can
We
I
wanna
have
go
my
home,
fucking
and the
snare
snare is
back?
still up there on stage.
And the drummer was like, no, I want to use it. I was like, bruh. So we had to stay for the whole
At one point, I walked up
I was
there.
like,
The
come
one, like the
on.
third band ended for the night. I just grabbed it. and I go, "This is mine," and goodbye.
And then, yeah, we were there for like an extra
Bruh.
hour and a half. Literally.
I was like, bruh.
That's probably what I
Put that
said.
on a t-shirt.
Yeah. So if anyone's listening still, thank you. But yeah, so this is like the end of 2018. So now we're in
Yeah.
2019. We played this place called the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn for the first
Yeah,
time.
I know
So
they
it's
That
a
place
great
is
venue.
awesome.
great
Eric
venue.
played there, right?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Another Atlantics alumni.
Nah.
Bad mind. Anyway.
Yeah, so we played there. That was one of our top 5 shows probably all time.
Oh,
That
yeah.
fucking
That
place
was a great show.
loaded. And it's funny because like a week earlier, Evan from Across Playwire Tower messaged me and goes, do not play there. There's a bunch of scam artists. And
Yeah.
we're just like, okay. Like, I don't know.
It was weird.
He was right, and he was also wrong. Like, he was right that it was a 40 ticket kind of thing, and it was a lot of money. He was right about that.
Yeah.
Some of the shows were packed, and some of the shows were not. So he was right, but not all the way through.
If
So.
you hear that, Evan, you're wrong.
Yeah. No, but the first time we played, it was pretty full.
Yeah, the first time I played was full, but it was good
Yeah.
that someone like Evan actually told us, so we at least knew what to look for.
And the photographer that was there was
Yeah, you got your
amazing.
own
Took great
photographer for the
pictures.
shows too.
Yeah.
And it took like these unbelievable photos. So we did that. And another show, people weren't there, and you get the fucking idea by now.
Same.
So we now, you remember this one? We played the Brighton Bar. We're doing another headlining show, and our guitar player at the time was gonna get Ubered because he didn't fucking feel like driving from Plainfield still. So he's going to get in the Uber. He misses this Uber too, and I'm
Again.
just like,
This fucking
Again.
guy, dude.
Like, I feel
He-
like it's kind of hard to miss an Uber because they like sit there for
they
a
call
bit.
you.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
They text
he
you.
wouldn't come
Yeah.
out of his apartment. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't walk the 100 yards to it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
Because it was
bro?
like his building was surrounded by like a road, and then the back here was the parking lot. The Uber was in the parking lot. He didn't want to get out because he thought the Uber was gonna.
And I
pull up
know
all
it
the
from
way
doing
around.
Uber and Lyft. It's like I don't want to go back. They're like, dude, like you need the ride. Like, and yes, I need the money, but like you need the ride. Like you
Yeah.
come to me, dude. Like,
Wait,
come on.
And it's not
he
even
was
like-
going to Brighton Bar from Plainfield.
From-
Yeah,
Or
or I think it was to my house, and then we were gonna drive to get
Yeah,
to the
we were
Brighton
gonna-
Bar.
yeah.
That's an expensive Uber.
Yeah,
There.
It was-
We spent
It was
over
like
$5,000 getting this kid to and from my house and the shows. There was between picking him up, driving him, Uber, Lyft, plane, train, literally
Yeah.
Plane.
everything.
It was like $40 a
Scooter.
Uber. Yeah.
I think the only thing we didn't do was bus, probably.
Probably.
It was probably the only thing we didn't do. So we, so he's like, dude, I can't come tonight. I go, why? He goes, I dropped the amp on my foot. And I go, shut the fuck up. I don't care. I was like, fuck you. And I hung up the phone. We played the show anyway. So we had like a heart to heart. I go, dude, I'm like, do you want to be in this band or do you not want to be in this band? Because you don't seem to show up to half our shows because you're shopping, grandmother's birthday party. And I'm just like, you can do both, you know, bro. Like, you can go to the party and then come to our show. No, bro, I can't miss my grandma's birthday party. I'm like, whatever, bro. I'm like, I missed my grandmother's fucking wake to go play with you fuckers. And now you can't miss a birthday party? Ridiculous.
He left it early, by the way. He didn't just not go. Just
Yeah, no, I did go. I got some shit from my family. I did go for a little while, and then I went to New York for him to miss drumsticks, and
yeah, that was.
that was
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry.
So
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
You're out of the band.
yeah,
Get out of here.
I'm pretty sure on the longest.
yeah, longest tenured.
Yes, that Jesus.
Forgot English real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in it continuously for about 2.5 years. We're gonna get to why it isn't 4 or 5 years. So we leading into 2019 was the 5 of us. It was me, him, our guitar player Kevin, our guitar player Josh, and our bass player Brandon. A few months ago, we made a bass player change. Bass player didn't show up, so we switched bass players in the middle of the tour. But he was an ex-guitar player, so he was already like used to the material. So he was an easy slide. Like he got it immediately.
Yeah.
So, and the guitar player Kevin got under everybody's fucking skin. Like he literally pissed off everybody. And if you even brought anybody that like was female, he would be trying to get their number and their Snapchat. It was just so out of control.
Yeah.
And then you remember this when he crossed the line. He took my phone, he added my ex in Snapchat, and I go out to fucking Florida, and he hangs out with her behind my back.
Yeah.
And we were ready with him out fire him anyway. So then we just said, enough. So we call him, and we fire him. Then the fucking bass player quits. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
Yeah.
So then we had to switch. So now I'm begging the bass player to stay. Now the guitar player who just tried to get my ex behind my back is still in this fucking band, even though no one likes him. A few days go by, we eventually convinced the bass player. He said, I will come back if I can play guitar and you fire Kevin. Deal.
Yeah.
We fired the piece of shit who hung out with my ex.
Easy.
So now it's the 4 of us. Now we're in February. We're like, wow, everyone gets along. These shows are going really good. Everyone shows up for the most part. And then the guitar player who was in and out decided this did not come anymore. Yeah. And then he not only quit the band, he quit being my friend for 7 months. He goes, "You're a fucking asshole. I don't like you anymore." And I'm just like, and we're sitting there like, what are you talking about? He goes, "You did all these things." I go, "That was like years ago. What do you?" I'm like, "We squashed the issues." He goes, "No, we did." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So now we're down to 3 people, and now I go to see Attila in Pennsylvania, and this band called Vitruvia. They open up the show, and one of the roadies walks up to me. His name is Justin, and goes, "Do you know anyone who needs a bass player?" I go, "You're looking at one right now, buddy." So this kid named Justin drove for 6 straight months 2.5 hours to practice from Reading, PA.
Yeah, wow.
2.5 hours. And meanwhile, ShopRite Man couldn't drive 9 minutes from Sayreville to Sayreville.
Yeah,
right, and then the Uber shit, 2.5 hours both ways to come to practice almost every week or every other week. That was a lot of dedication. He was an asshole though, that was the problem. Yes. So it didn't last forever. So at this point, so that he's in, it's a different 4 of us. Like, all right, got along for about a month, and then me and him started going at it. It pretty much boiled down to we wanted to practice. He was never around the practice, but we weren't willing to stop our momentum. So that just caused a lot of issue between me, him, and his father, and my father. And it got like really ugly at the end. We were screaming at each other, and it got to the point where like we need to make a change. So we luckily decided we did almost about a year straight of shows. We did about like 11 straight months of just show almost every weekend. And if we weren't doing shows, we were recording. So we were always doing something.
Yeah.
By May 2019, we were exhausted. I was like, I want to go fucking home. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to anybody anymore, please. So we did a show with Danny Warsnop from Asking Alexandria. Didn't go as planned. The PA blew out during the first song.
Yeah, and before the show, we were waiting. Because, like, the venue, there was, like, an upstairs thing, and behind some doors were, like, a waiting area that you would just chill in before you played. And, like, in that waiting area, I was like, I'm not angry. I don't get angry at people anymore, at least. But, like, the first time I had been angry in, like, half a decade was this bass player, Justin, was just I was just like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And then that was after that show, I was like, yeah.
We just basically mutually agreed. I was like, let's not let this get any more uglier.
Yeah.
Like let's just end this now. So we ended up, we got another drummer. So he was in the band at this point for about 2.5 years. Now it's like kind of like one of those like videos where he goes black for like 40 minutes and then he comes back in. He goes back into color again. So we got a drummer named Nick, and talk about pressure. He goes, I can't play your show. I go, it's with Chelsea Grin. How can you not play? He goes, well, I'm picking up weed in Massachusetts. I'm like fuck off.
What?
So we had to, and shout out to my friend James. He plays in this band called Bobby Mahoney and the Seventh Son. And we, Mike and Chris Penny found us because we were begging Chris Payne. We're like, please play drums, please, bro. We need a drummer. He goes, I'm not coming out of retirement. I'm not doing it. My dad goes, please, we'll pay you whatever you want. He goes, I'm not coming out of retirement to play shows. Yeah. So he found my friend. Well, now he's my friend. This guy named James. The guy had 2 days to learn this whole set. 48 hours notice to learn a set in front of Chelsea Grin and Slaughter to Prevail. We drive out to Pennsylvania. We are beyond fucking nervous. It's like, this is big. This is Chelsea Grin. This is Slaughter to Prevail. This is For the Fallen Dreams. This is Loser. Like, all these fucking bands. We practiced one time, and the bass player and the guitar player weren't even there. That's how I was like, we're literally going as like blind-eyed, and we snuck our way into the Chelsea Grin meet and greet. We met Tom Barber, and we run Steven from Chelsea Grin, and we're like, yeah, we're playing. It's an honor. He goes, oh, what time you guys on? We're like, 40 guys goes, I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna watch. We're like, oh god, the dude who wrote Recreant or was played Recreant for a while is now watching our set. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, why is this gotta be so stressful? So, and we're sound checking, and there he is at the bar, Steven from Chelsea Grin watching. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, this is gonna be so bad. We opened the show with YOLO from Suicide Silence, and these people went fucking ape shit. And now, for 2 days' notice for practice, we had a pretty good show. I can't lie, we had a pretty good show. And people liked it, which was nice. So we did that. And then the drummer actually came to the next show, which was nice. Yeah. We had a fill-in for a show, and then the stupid pot-smoking drummer showed up to the next show. And then he returns with more bullshit the following show. Uh-oh. We were doing a Summer Slaughter showcase in Brooklyn, this place called Kingsland Club. And it pretty much was, if you win the showcase, you get to play Manhattan Summer Slaughter. So it's a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. The morning of, I was like, oh, it's going to be a nice day outside. We're going to get there. I mean, no problems. No, that's not how this goes for us ever. He texts me and goes, so I have a pinched nerve in my neck and I can't make it today. I'm like, oh my god, come on. Me and him weren't friends, so I couldn't call him. Or the drummer that just filled in for us was not around that day. We are scrambling. I'm losing my mind in my fucking driveway. What we decided to do was change our career forever. We taught the bass player how to play drums for the show. What? In 3 hours, I sat there, because he kind of played drums a little bit. I was like, Justin, please. I'm like, Justin, I need $500, please. Just do this. He's like, all right, fuck it. So we sat there and we taught him the songs, and I got to give him a lot of credit. Even though he can be an asshole, he stepped up and actually played drums. And then the creepy guitar player that no one liked, we called him because we needed a bass player. We're driving to the show. It's me, my dad, the guitar player Josh, who likes to take Miss Ubers, etc., yeah. Angry Justin, who's now playing drums, and then the creepy guitar player Kevin. We're in the car, and we had warned Justin, because Justin really hadn't met Kevin. Like, do not egg him on. Going, do not tell him about anyone's girlfriend or anyone's, like, don't do it. And he starts going. So he starts going after me, and I'm like, and I'm already on my last nerve. I'm like, don't do it. And he goes, yeah, and I'm just like, and I literally almost jumped over the seat to strangle this fucking kid. On the way to the show, we get there, and the guy who greets us, our fucking ex-manager, this guy hosts and goes, oh, you guys are late. And I go, listen, I'm really sorry. I go, our drummer bitched out. I go, we're here. We got to fill in. We're good to go. He goes, it's a lot of balls. I gotta give you guys credit. It's a lot of balls to still show up. We showed up like 2 hours late because we had to fucking teach the drummer the songs. Yeah. We ended up playing the show. It went very good, actually. Surprisingly, I couldn't believe it. And then after the show, they gave us a meet and they kind of broke it down like, hey, like this is what you guys can improve on. It was kind of like, it was a judging kind of thing. It was like a kind of battle of the bands, kind of not at the same time. We didn't win, but a few weeks later, we did a hometown show at the Brian Bar. This probably is my second favorite show of all time. All our family, all our friends there, big ass fucking show. Place is fucking packed. People went absolutely apeshit. Probably, definitely my favorite New Jersey show of all time. Definitely. Did that, and then we're kind of like, well, what do we do? Like the record came out. We have another record. It's finished. What are we gonna do? So then we got a message from this guy on Facebook. Goes, yo, can I talk to you guys? And I go, what? He goes, I'm Danny Warstoff's merch guy. I'm like, where are you going with us? He goes, how'd you guys have to play Summer Slaughter? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, Summer Slaughter and Syracuse, Rhode Island need a local band for both dates. You guys want to do it? And we're like, when? He goes, next Friday and the following Friday. I go, okay. And he was like, one thing. I go, what? He goes, I need a decision today. I'm like, Okay, give me an hour. So I call her and I go, so we have a chance to go play Summer Slaughter. Can we do it, please? And I'm like, I'm begging people. I'm like, please, let's do this. Please, 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 please. They all said yes. Thank God. The next day, I had to like turn my whole life around like at 24 hours. I'm like, we gotta go. So the next day we drove to Pennsylvania to go play with Drowning Pool. And played the show. I got out there, I sang Bodies with them. It was super cool. And we're hanging out backstage with the guys. They're telling us Jerry Cantrell stories and Dimebag stories and Dave Williams stories. We're like, this is awesome. And then my dad's like, we gotta drive to Syracuse. You better get in the fucking van now. We gotta go. But the drummer that night for the Drowning Pool show, the same drummer who missed the Chelsea Grin show and missed the Battle Band show, missed this show because he was working. We had to drive 2 hours to pick him up at a fucking rest stop in New Jersey to play Tetris again and put his entire drum kit in the back of the van, drive to Syracuse to get there at 7 in the fucking morning.
Wait, how did he get to the rest stop with his drum set?
He put it in his like truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he drove himself there, and then we met him.
Yeah, I was really confused.
Carried it all the way
It was like this like weird looking.
commitment.
It was like a Holiday Inn, but it was like a castle theme. It was like very weird. It was kind of cool though. Like 2:30 in the morning, I'm like, I want to kill this fucking kid. If he just came to the show, it wouldn't be a problem. We got to New York, Syracuse, New York at 7 a.m. Played the show. It was okay. A lot of sound issues, this and that. Drive home. Next week, we had to drive to Rhode Island. And we're like, what the fuck is in Rhode Island? I don't know anything about Rhode Island. I'm like, they have minor league hockey. That's all I know. It's in Rhode Island. We get out there.
Think Family Guy.
Yeah.
True.
Let's visit the Peter Griffin house.
Yeah.
And this was the best show of our entire career. We go out there on stage, and this band called Absent Despair, we're like, look, guys, we don't have a drum kit. Can we, like, share a drum kit? I'm like, we didn't want to bring a drum kit from New Jersey. Like, yeah. So we bought some merch. We kind of helped them out. We go up there. You got 20 minutes. We did 5 songs. The people in Rhode Island went ape shit for us. I mean, we told them to move in. They moved in. They were moshing, did a wall of death. And we do YOLO from Suicide Silence. These people fucking lost their minds out in the fucking crowd. They were moshing. The people jumping over each other, trying to stage dive and shit. That was my favorite show of all time. In front of 300 people on Summer Slaughter with the guys in Carnifex and Lorna Shore watching in the crowd. It was pretty fucking cool.
That's awesome.
So that was the second to last day of Summer Slaughter. Then we went to Easton, PA for Summer Slaughter. And then when you hear deathcore for 2 weeks straight, you kind of run out of interest for hearing blast beats for a long time. By the end of the day, I'm just like, if I hear another fucking growl, I'm going to punch somebody. It's just so annoying. Did that show, went pretty good. I sprained my ankle during the first song, I sprained my ankle. Then during the fucking last song, I stage dive, and I fucking fell. And they tried to mosh with the crowd, and they knocked me over, and I'm just like, it's time to go home. It really is. So then we did like a couple more shows, and so it's still the same 4 of us, even though the drummer sucks. Like, he just sucks. He never comes to anything. Play a show in August at the Knitting Factory again, and we're having a meeting. And my friend at the time, he came with us, and he was moving to Arizona. So we were like, oh, we'll bring him on stage, have a good time. And we gave him a backstage pass. Now, our drummer brought 2 of his female friends with him, but they didn't get a pass. And he's like, this is fucking bullshit. I go, you don't come to half of the shows. That is called bullshit.
Yeah.
We play the show. He's being a real prick the whole fucking time and this and that. After the show, like, we need to talk with you. So a few days go by. I'm going up to Connecticut to go visit my friend at her school. And I call him. I go, so what's the deal? He goes, all right, well, I'm going to tell you my deal. I'm like, oh, what's this going to be? He goes, I need $125 per show to play going forward if you want me to continue playing this band. I go,
Fuck that.
I'm like, so the guy who doesn't come to the Chelsea Grin show, the Summer Slaughter show, the Drowning Pool show, has the nerve to tell me that I need to pay $125 per show for this guy. I'm like, we don't even make that as a band. I was like, get lost.
Fuck.
That goes away. Now, I'm out of water to drink in a minute the more I keep talking. So,
Been going for a while.
we're like, all right, we ended up finding a drummer named Billy on Instagram. I don't know, an Instagram ad for Post Malone Circles is how I found our next drummer. We ended up jamming with them. We had a tour lineup the next month. And this is kind of like the part of the story where it's like, wow, like, they're really like taking it off, like it's getting together. This is the part where our career takes the biggest dip ever in history, literally history. We had a tour lined up, we got a new drummer, we're getting a manager, we're going fucking nuts. It's the greatest thing ever. Then my world comes crashing down because we get a call from the scumbag booking agent who goes, so the tour you guys gave me all that money for, it's canceled. I'm like, what? It's canceled? He goes, yeah, it's canceled, minus the one show. And like within a matter of days and like weeks, my life just started just falling apart. I'm like losing my fucking mind. Meanwhile, me and him have been talking for 6 months, and he comes in the picture in like a few months from this. And we did a show in PA with Slaughterville, and we're up there. The bass player decides that it's time to quit the fucking band. He quits the band the previous week and goes, I'm gonna quit. I can't take this anymore. You know, you don't listen to anything I say. I go, we were arguing over like who we're gonna be our fucking manager. And I'll tell you guys who it was gonna be off air. But it was like we're going back and forth. He goes, you know what? Fuck you. I quit. And I'm like, no one likes you anyway. Like, it's not a loss. No one likes, bro. You're a fucking fat asshole from Pennsylvania that causes the problem with everybody. Like, no one cares. Comes to the show, I'm having the worst week of my entire life. I fucking had a friendship fall apart that Monday. It was like meant the world to me. And we got dropped from our fucking label the same day. Taking all of that with the record late or with the fucking tour being canceled, I'm like, someone's gonna fucking pay. And me and him literally, I can't think of any bands that have gotten in fights on stage other than Cold Chamber, but like we literally were about 30 seconds from punching each other on stage. It was so close.
You had to fight with Cold Chamber?
No, like they Cold Chamber got into a fight with each other on stage.
Oh, I thought you fought Cold
No.
Chamber. I was like, what? I want to hear that.
Yeah. So I almost decked the guitar. I almost decked the bass player with the guitar on stage. Luckily, I did not do that. We got into a scream match in the parking lot. He's gone. Moving on. Rite Man comes back in now. We're like, can you please play bass? He goes, sure.
Return to the Rite Man.
Literally.
I was losing my mind more and more. And then it got so bad after this. I mean, because I've worked so hard for so long that I got so fucking I just lost my mind that I literally tried to kill myself in the middle of this. In the middle of our fucking tour, I lost my fucking mind. And people are like, what are you going to do? I go, I don't know. I'm like, I just saw the end of the fucking road. And I go, I'm like, I need some time. So we ended up canceling a show. I was like, I'm not in the right headspace at all for this shit. We did 2 shows. We did one with Attila. It was a weird tour. It's like all this shit was going on. I'm just like, why are we even out here? So we ended up doing a couple shows. Rite Man actually came to these 2 shows. I couldn't believe it. That was the only 2 he made.
The only 2.
The next show we did a show, and it just didn't go good. I'm just like, we gotta get off the fucking road. This is just, I'm like, we had hit such a fucking like high point in that. Just, I'm like, we couldn't get any lower than this. We got a manager in our ear telling us, we're gonna be the next big fucking band and this and that. And I'm just like, I don't fucking care anymore. I'm like, this is just awful. So we ended up, we only did a couple more shows. They got worse as they went on, and the drummer didn't show up anymore. Rite Man bailed day of because he had a college presentation that day.
It's always something.
It's always something with this fucker. Then he had a family party for another show.
How the hell does he get to work?
It's like 6 minutes from his house. That's why. So this is the end of 2019. So we literally had the greatest like first 9 months ever, or 8.5 months ever of our entire career, to be preceded by the next worst 4 months ever. I'm losing my mind. I'm in fucking rehab. So I'm trying to rekindle with people. So I texted him and I go, look, I'm like, we at least should be friends, not even if it's not band members. We should at least be friends. Me and him became friends with all these other people again. Now we roll forward to 2020, the world's shittiest year ever.
Oh, God.
On my birthday, our fucking producers at the time and our manager, we go to Manhattan with me and Uber miss the Uber guitar player, Josh. And they decide to tell us that our record that we had finished for 6 months earlier than that, we were holding on to. We're like, when are we going to release it? And they were like, no, trust us, guys. We're going to figure this out. Don't put it out on Black Friday. Hold on to it. We're still currently paying for that decision, just so you know. So they decided to tell us in Manhattan on my birthday that not only do we suck as people, that the record sucks and the band sucks. And then their new suggestion was, it pains me to say this.
Legendary.
Emo rap. They want us to turn the band into emo rap. Emo rap.
They're trying to make you into an industry plant.
They're like, yeah, like you guys make the next industry plant, like Peep and like Xan. I'm like, no, what the fuck?
No distorted guitars.
No distorted guitars, no drums, no bass. So not only did we watch people leave the band a tour ago, this shitty manager comes into the fold, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I'm just like, how much worse can this get? It gets worse.
Oh,
Yeah. So now this is like right before COVID starts, and we're like, all right, what are we gonna do? And so I was like, I'm gonna swallow my pride. So I text him, I go, do you want to jam? He goes, fucking why not? And so we put me and him in the room for the first time in like, it was like 10 months. It was a little while. And we jammed, and I go, look, I'm gonna be honest, I go, any interest in coming back into the band? And he goes, I knew this was gonna come. And he goes, well, and I was like, and we pretty much sat there. I was like, look, I'm like, I know these things upset you, and we cleared the air. I was like, and he said yes. Then COVID happened.
And the Fire Nation attacks.
Yeah.
So the Fire Nation attacks, and our shitty manager comes back around. I go, look, dude, I'm like, we would like to get a booking agent. Like, when COVID goes away, still isn't fucking away, I'm like, we'd like to book some shows with a new agent. And he goes, your guys' music is not good enough to land a booking agent. I was like, all right, fuck this dude, I'm done. I'm like, this guy not only has insulted us, he's just beyond ruined us at this point.
Yeah.
So then, a few months go by, we drop our record, Cold Blooded Volume 1. Finally, we did a surprise. I'm like, this thing's gotta come out. I'm like, fuck the management team. I don't care if they don't like it. The management team didn't even know we released the record. That's how detached they were from the situation.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Not that we cared, because it charted on the Amazon charts, went number 6 on the fucking rock charts and 19 on the overall charts. We're charting harder than Ozzy. We're like, how is this possible?
Holy shit.
Crazy.
And then when you think it couldn't get any worse, it does. Then the band breaks up.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, I'm like,
You guys have a crazy story.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
it is-
very interested in this.
Because I'm just like, at this point, we had experienced so many good shows. Danny, War Snob, Chelsea Grin, Drowning Pool, The Word Alive, Escape the Fate. It's like, kind of like, and we got a record deal. I kind of already had achieved a lot of things. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. So we broke the band, but I was going to go to college. I was like, I'm done. I'm fucking done with this shit. And my friend Brandon was like, no, Jeezy cannot walk away like this. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, bro, I'm telling you. He goes, you're not the same person out of the band. I go, what do you mean? He goes, Mike, you're supposed to be the angry blonde on stage yelling at people. He goes, that's how you are. And I'm like,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what is it that made you decide you wanted to go back do the band thing again?
a couple of my friends had a hard heart. They're like, you need to do a couple things to make your life the way that makes you happy. So we had our Metallica some kind of monster moment. We sat down at Fridays in Hazlitt, me, him, Uber Josh, and Brandon Ryan. We all sat down at Fridays and we did the Metallica style. We sat there, we talked out all of our issues. I'm like, oh, why I hate you, you hate me, we hate each other, and we cleared the air on everything. And slowly but surely, things got to kind of big. We fired that stupid fucking manager, and that's when it started to go away. I was like, all right, we can move away from that awful time in our life. Then we go do another shit show story, Shook Under the Core music video.
Yes.
Do this music
Amazing.
video for our song. Video came out great. Not the point. The point was the aggravation that went into this.
Yeah.
So, and these will be my last 2 stories because I'm sure we've been talking for 9 years.
I'm sure.
But
How long have we been going?
Okay.
Only 8 years.
okay.
Yeah, good. Okay.
So we go do this music video. It's a place called 10 Pearl in Long Branch. And, we're pretty prepared. Like, all right, it's going to be cool. We got the full band. Everyone's getting along. The night before, I'm texting. I'm like, hey, guys, it's going to be this time for this and that. The bass player is not answering. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
here we go.
Yeah.
We're like, here we go. Wake up in the morning. Still does not answer me. And he answers me, goes, what time is the video shoot? I was like, I know where this is going. This means he's not coming. So I call my best friend, I go, who plays guitar and bass, but doesn't really play out that much really anymore. And I go, okay, so he's not coming today. What's it going to take to get you here? I go, $100. He goes, and I'm like, $100. He goes, well, I'll tell you, I'll make it easier. He goes, I want a cart. He goes, I want a fucking marijuana cart. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
So I gave him a cart. He goes, I'm in.
All right. And he showed up.
Got our wardrobe from Old Navy, went to fucking Google to buy all of our props, somehow drive from fucking Cliffwood all the way to our practice space to grab all of our gear to try to go pick him up to get to the studio. The bass player already has not only quit showing up to the show, he quit the fucking band the same day to make it even worse.
3 hours later.
So now
the same thing from before. He was like, I just can't do it.
He goes, I can't do it. My mental health. I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
We literally
bro.
aren't even playing shows. We're doing
I was like,
nothing.
we're doing a music
practicing
video.
once
You
a
can't
week.
even show up at this.
Yeah.
So then we get there, and I was like, And it's like the thing. It's like what else could go wrong will go wrong, and it did. Director comes out. Monto goes, so we have a problem. I go, what possibly now could go wrong? I'm like, you already wanted to reschedule the video twice today.
Yeah.
He goes, the power's out. I'm like, oh my god, how? The power was out for 3 hours.
Yeah, at that point.
And then the guy before us was late. So
everything got pushed. At that point, I just sat on our merch crate and just in the parking lot. I was like, this is where I'm sitting for 2 hours, and that's where and then we all just like sat there on the floor for 2 hours.
We were so depressed. We're just like
waiting for the power.
Just
to
like,
come
what
back
the
on.
fuck? Eventually, the guy had battery-powered lights.
Yeah.
And we actually shot for a couple hours. Finished the video. It's like 10:30 at night. The power came on in the middle of one of the shots. It's like we thought it was like a Hiroshima bomb. Like we thought it was like the end of the world.
Because all the lights came on, we were like,
it was
oh, fuck.
pitch black, and it's just white light. We're just like, I was like, oh my god, we're dying. Holy shit! And it's just like, no, the power came
This
on.
is it, guys.
And then we got hit by the air conditioning. I was like,
Yes.
oh my fucking god, this is it. And
Finished the
then
video.
yeah.
Week later, did the other fucking part of the video was a shit show, but not as bad of a shit show. And then the final story, which will lead into the end of this fucking podcast, is did a video for the song called Our Betrayal. Our Betrayal features Pablo from Chelsea Grin on the song. And he's in the music video too. We had to pay more money, but it was so fucking worth it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So we get Pablo do his parts, we're doing our parts, go do the music video, and
Ghost.
Literally.
it's the ghost of Tom Joad. The night before, he texts me and goes, "We already rescheduled the video twice. You guys can see we don't have good luck. We have the worst luck with shit."
Yeah, I've seen that.
So we ended up. He texted me the night before. He goes, "Hey, dude. So I failed math.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to come now." I'm like, "You God."
And this
fucking
and this
kidding
was
me.
like because before when I was telling the story about how like my dad was super anal about everything. At this point, he really wasn't anymore. He was being chill. Because, I mean, school was online. I wasn't doing anything. He was, like, being chill, but then I failed math, and then that was it. I was like, he was like, you're not leaving the house for 3 weeks. I mean, the next week I was out.
But still. But
Yeah.
the day we needed him at Rutgers, we couldn't get him.
Yeah.
So the same kid who quit the band and quit the music video shoot from the last time did kind of play drums. So I call him. I go, "What's it gonna take?" He goes, and I was like, $30. He goes, "I'm in."
Yeah. And he,
We
and
taught
he came.
the fucking moron who fucked us over the previous day. We taught him in 24 hours how to play the song on drums, and we finished the video.
Shit.
At that point, we're like, I don't care. I'm never doing another video again. I don't give a shit. I'm over this and that. So that was done. So now, currently, where we sit at present day doing this interview, we have 2 records out. We have Generation Underground, our self-titled debut, and we have Cold Blooded Volume 1 out. Well, it's out now.
Yeah.
But we have a Cold Blooded Volume 2 coming out featuring Pablo from Chelsea Grin on the 3rd track of the record. I don't know when it's going to come out. It's hard to say with COVID.
Eventually.
It's like, you know, like you don't want to drop a record. We already dropped one during COVID. Like it went well, but it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like people are more worried about paying their fucking rent, and I get it, than trying to buy our damn album on Amazon. I get it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have a record. It's going to come out
That's
at some point this year. So we're very excited for that, and our publicist is in this band called Dropout Kings, and we hired him in August last year, and definitely it's kind of like when you move away from like an ex-girlfriend that's just a toxic piece of shit, and you finally get like the right guy. And he's not our manager, but he acts kind of as like our manager, and he like was like, "Yo, bro, like we got this shit." I was like, "I like the way you think, motherfucker." He goes, "We got this."
Band dad.
Yeah.
He's like the band therapist. They're pretty much our publicist. Just has been out there just kicking ass for the last 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
So the band sits in a good spot. But if you're listening to this and you play guitar, or you know anyone plays guitar, we are looking for a guitar player.
Yes.
So
And you have to show up. Make sure you show
yes,
up.
you have to show up, and you can't miss the Uber. You can't miss ShopRite training. You know, like
Just
Preferably you have more than one source of transportation.
true.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't
in a
care
car.
if you get there from a fucking UFO.
As
Just,
long as you get there.
just long as you
show
get there,
up,
that's all I
yeah.
care.
Show up on a Monday. Just yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have toured with like everybody though in that story. That's crazy.
I
know.
Everyone.
I would watch that movie. If you made that into a
Yeah,
movie,
we should
I'd
make
watch
it.
that.
We've been toying with a documentary. We have
should make a documentary.
We have
Yeah.
like vlogs from literally almost all of our shows last like 2 or 3 years, so we have enough footage to make our own like movie.
Totally fucking do it.
It won't be the dirt. We're not gonna be snorting ants off of fucking concrete like Ozzy.
Never mind, don't want to watch.
Yeah, but like it'll be
happen.
It'll be cool.
And
so.
we've saved every set list from every show.
We have a lot of good. Like, we have a lot of footage. We have footage from not every show, but most shows, enough to tell like the story about like Chelsea Grin and The Word Alive and Escape the Fade and Attila. And we had a show booked in L.A. this year or last year, and it got canceled because of COVID.
But that would have been fun.
I can't book a show in Manhattan, but we could book a show with the Whiskey A Go Go in L.A. How does that work? How? They pick up the phone. They're like, "Hi, when am I play a show?" I go, "June." They go, "Deal. You got the show. Send the contract over." I'm like, "What?"
Fuck.
Yeah, and it was during the school year, so I was like, uh-oh. But my dad was like, you can go to LA. I was like,
yeah, when do you get a chance to play Los Angeles? Like, that's some pretty fucking cool shit.
Yeah. But
so,
So
one day it'll happen. I don't know when it will happen. And then one day a record will come out, too.
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
Yeah,
But,
I'm ready.
If you guys got anything to end on?
Any questions?
I was so sucked into the story.
That was a great story.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't even
I
thinking
was
of anything. I was
imagining
just
the whole
focused.
time.
That
was great.
Long story. Yeah.
I try to keep it like more like on a positive, like because like when it got dark, it got really fucking dark, and I don't like to really reflect on it because it's like it's just it happened. I don't want our story to be hinged by that moment in our career. It happens. We made a mistake with the manager, and just we're in a good spot.
Good.
We need a guitar player to be in a better spot though.
Yes, if you play guitar.
Well, guys,
play guitar.
appreciate it so much. This was fun. That was an awesome story. Loved it. We'll definitely have you guys back when your record comes out, and we'll do this again
One day.
I'm down.
But thank you guys so much.
Another podcast worth of bullshit that happens.
You guys have like 5 podcasts worth so far.
I know.
If we explained each thing, we could.
We did like a skimper of details for each of those
that
stories.
that was the documentary version of the story.
If we did like the fucking like
the 300-page autobiography.
If we did, if we did like the book, we could go on for another 2 hours.
The trilogy.
Yeah.
But again, thank you guys so much. Check them out, Generation Underground. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Sir.
Yeah. Thank you.